The Opps tried to burn Hitman T's mom's house to try and his family.
And y'all tried to burn his mama's house?
But couldn't resist the urge to get back on the street.
Damn.
October 91, Dorsey was hit 7 times in the chest.
Oh!
And somehow survived.
Oh!
Despite the second.
These exotic boys, smoke exotic ops. You ain't heard about murder boys, we got exotic glocks. Tied to pull up real fast, with a lot of shots. Bitch, I'm feeling just like Mac, I got a lot of guap.
Freestyle! Check it, check it, check it. My name is Mac. I like to hit the pretty girl, but not from the back, because I like to look at her face and she be like, that. I be like, ooh. She be like, yeah. And I be like, yeah. She be like, is it wet? I be like, soaking. She be like, ooh. I be like, yeah. I be riding around the street with my glick. I be like, blah, 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 boom. Everybody gotta go in the room. As soon as I come through, I'm killing everybody soon. I'm getting everybody dead. Everybody had their bed. Nigga had some dreads and I painted them red. Who is that? Who is this? I don't even know. I'm a gangster mother, and you know I'm gonna go. Woo! Oh, that's how they be sound. That's how they be in the booth. Yeah. Kill. Yo, what y'all on, Ski? It's your boy Mac Mula. I came Mr. Mula Mac. Don't mind me. I'm just tweaking like I tweak. That's what I do, baby. If you don't know, now you know. Make sure y'all smash that thumbs up button, that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Go to GBSN right now. Right now. Guap Boy Sports Network right now. We talking a whole lot of over there on that channel, man. So tune in, Ski. Tune in, Ski. Tune in. My vlog channel 2, my gaming channel 2, we going crazy. I got a no commentary gaming channel 2 for y'all that want to see that. We doing it big, man. Let's get into this vid, man. Ooh, y'all see that? Bars, like cars. Ski.
Police recovered more than $300,000 in cash.
Okay.
We counted 6 guns, including an assault-style weapon and what appears to be a tactical armored vest.
Tactical armored vest.
Somebody who really doesn't care about us. My arm 4 times, my leg 6. It shot like 10 times in this leg.
Sir?
3 times in my right thigh and 3 times in my hand.
God. Sir? I ain't gonna lie, when I be hearing, hold on, let me find this lighter, man. This ain't gonna work. Oh, I got it. Don't worry about it, Skate. But one thing I be saying though, like, I don't know. You gotta be blessed. You got hit that many times and ain't none of them in no vital spots, bro.
Yeah, hella close, like, them was like, how did that affect you? I don't know, it just made me like, I don't know, used to it.
Why is there so much violence in the city?
Hatred. You know what I'm saying? Jealousy, envy.
Anybody can get it. Anybody in there, everybody. Ain't no exclusion.
Ain't no exclusion.
Kids excluded.
I'm telling you.
In the middle of that, that's just it.
That's just it, man.
M&Ps, ARs.
They must be talking about St. Louis then, cause bro.
All open to carry.
This where it go down, then the whole St. Louis go down. North side, south side, west side, but it go down right here for real.
You get killed anywhere. You get killed in the county, you get killed downtown, you get killed on the south side, you get killed on the west side, you get killed on the north side. And so, east side, Illinois, across the
Yes, that's really Illinois, yeah.
Anywhere, it's bad everywhere, so.
These days, to an outsider, St. Louis has become synonymous with it's topped the charts many times in the past decades for both and crime. The more intimate knowledge of the city's history paints a picture of 2 cities in one.
See, they be doing that hood stuff, bro, but it's really all kind of the same. Like, they be having Chicago on the low because it's more people, bro. Yeah, it's more people in the city because the city bigger. But the hoods, if you take the hoods of Chicago, put them together, it's probably the same size as what's going on in St. Louis. You feel me? Or if you put the hoods of Atlanta, well, Atlanta's small as hell. But y'all get what I'm saying, though. It's really all, it's bad everywhere. You feel me? That's why I don't like in the comments talking about some, St. Louis is more dangerous than Chicago. What the you want, a cookie? Okay. It's all the same, bro. All the same.
Black St. Louis and white St. Louis. And how the issue became almost exclusively black on black. And the irony of how it stayed that way even after the Ferguson riots and the birth of Black Lives Matter. See, there's 2 sides to the city. Everything south of Delmar Road and north. The north side is way more active with 70% of murders happening here.
North side is where
It's
it go
something
down
of a
in,
modern dystopia with the kind of poverty rarely
Hey,
seen.
who from St. Louis, man? Let me know in the comments, skate. You know, St. Louis and Chicago, we like, right? That's like 2 hours away. I had a girl from St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? She was,
everywhere else in America. Combine it with the very loose gun laws, you have a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, the gun law is crazy.
As soon as you get 18, all you need the ID, nigga. And you go get you a whole AR-15 or a carbine.
Yeah.
Nigga, you feel me? An 18-year-old, no gun
Legally.
license, just let them niggas leave us. So St. Louis is different.
To this day, St. Louis is still one of the most segregated cities in America.
Yeah.
With no end in
The whole
sight.
Midwest, bro.
We're going to explore the crime history of the city, particularly how the violence has almost always been connected to race, drugs, and gangs.
Yeah. Oh, they got gangs. I mean, I know it's gangs everywhere, but I don't know nothing about, like, is it GDs? I don't know no
Of a
gangs.
city that fell from its former glory. It has a brutal history as well. St. Louis made its come up as a trading city in the 1800s, and its home state, Missouri, was also one of the last states to abolish slavery. Later on, it became the main trading post on the Mississippi River and was the 4th biggest city in the U.S., only behind New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia. Big enough to host the Olympics in 1904.
Took Los Angeles.
Naturally,
Mexico.
all the prosperity attracted poor immigrants and the black population fleeing the torment of the South. A lot of them became stuck in poverty via harsh segregation laws and redlining of early 20th century St. Louis, tailored to be the instrument of their own destruction, a story too familiar to America's inner cities. Given the they grew up in, these poor neighborhoods birthed all kinds of seedy individuals looking to make an easy dollar. Gangs like the Green Ones, Bottoms Gang, Russo Gang, Hogan Gang, and the Egan Rats. All gangs made up of poor Italian, German, Polish immigrants that grew up rough. These guys had all the attention of the law enforcement way before black criminality ever became the main focus.
Oh my! I'm so glad I was born in '98. Can you imagine walking around at 19, 14, 18, 42? I ain't doing that.
These early gangs mainly got money from bootlegging, election fraud, armed robbery, and extortion. Gambling mainly through the numbers game, which was popular with the black folk, was another big earner from them. Bank robbing gangs looted thousands from local banks here and were known to have gun battles live on the street. The bottom gangs would even go out their way to attack St. Louis cops, and they were used by local politicians to enforce their will.
Ain't it crazy?
It was like the Wild West in these times. The Prohibition presented the next big earning opportunity for local mafias. They would sell Sacramento wine, which was still legal, and smuggle booze from Mexico and Canada. This era was pretty much mobster Game of Thrones, and local bosses were constantly being murdered and replaced.
Yeah.
Dominic Jambroni was the OG mob boss in St. Louis until 1924, and his enemies made him flee the city.
Oh, damn.
The Green Ones became the most powerful gang after this. It was a Sicilian gang that put a tax on all the goods sold in Italian communities. The boss was Vito Ginola until he was shot 37 times to death in 1927. Their main rivals were the Pillow Gang and the Russo Gang.
I ain't like these the real gangsters, boy. All these SWAT, they waving in the cameras and all that. Oh, that's cute. You feel me? These the real gangsters, boy. Hold on, we finna get right back into the video, but before we do, shorty, I gotta tell y'all about my membership. MulaMembership.com is a website that I started almost 2 years ago, and since then I have helped literally over 10,000 people make at least $20,000 profit before they left my membership. I know a lot of people gonna say it's cap, but y'all see the proof, man. I do this every day like clockwork. When you sign up for my membership, not only is you gonna get access to all the videos in my membership, where it's teaching you exactly what to do, how to do it when it comes to stocks, crypto, social media monetization, financial literacy, credit. I'm literally going to walk you step by step to make yourself a rich entrepreneur. And on top of that, I have a team of more than 30 people that will work around the clock 24/7 and call out stock and crypto plays, so you know what to buy, when to buy, and you make money with me making the same investments that I make at the same time that I'm making. All this for $50 short. I want to see y'all win, man. So listen, for that low price, click the first link in my description right now, MulaMembership.com. Come sign up before it's too late because we're running out of spots. Spots are very, very limited. I want to keep this membership exclusive, so you might want to hurry up and sign up. Now let's get back into the video. These the real gangsters, boy. They coming to get your ass, man. They got rules, regulations. This how we doing this, what we doing. We ain't doing this, we doing that. If you don't do it, you getting smoked, homie. You feel me? I'm talking about they cut your leg off. Oh my, I'd much rather deal with what we got going on today. All right, now Al Capone them? Oh, shit.
Pillow Gang was initially led by Pascal Santino, who was also murdered in 1927.
Right.
Carmelo Fresina took over and was the one that gave the gang the name the Pillow Gang. Named as such because he had to carry a pillow to sit on because he was shot in the Pillow Gang picked up with the Russo Gang, which was led by Tony Russo.
I heard about
Years
the
later,
Russos.
they finally joined up into one big mafia family under Thomas Buffer. Buffer fled St. Louis due to the pressure from the cops in 1943. But even he was murdered in Lodi, California in 1947. After that, it became named the Giordano family, after Anthony Giordano, and has held that name ever since. After World War II, the factory started to leave St. Louis and left a lot of people broke and desperate.
Right.
Many people left and the population dropped from 800,000 to 250,000 in just a few years. Most of whom were poor black people that the state didn't care
just
about
like
too
Chicago,
much.
really.
See, black people had immigrated in large numbers to Missouri during the Great Migration and set up shop in dirty, rat-infested inner-city buildings.
Yeah.
So to accommodate for all the new black folks in the city, they built massive projects.
Yeah.
The main projects were Pruitt Ego, one of the many
that
super houses.
That shit look like the hell devil in disguise. All the projects be looking crazy as like just how it look. That look like, oh my, from the airport, like from the you know what I'm saying? From up here.
And projects in America that fell into degeneracy and crime. These 33 buildings of apartments quickly filled up with poverty, drug dealing, and prostitution. They were underfunded, underserviced, and had poor build quality. Raw sewage even flooded the hallways once. Not to mention white flight followed.
Hey, let me pause this. I just read a comment. It say, bro, your reactions are forced and over the top. My reactions are not forced. This is Mako. This is me. This is how I act all day, every day. You don't know me, nigga. Wrong with you? If you're trying to have semi-real and sane reactions, tone it down. I don't gotta tone nothing down. This me. You don't like it? Stop watching.
Quickly, and the now exclusively black project became ignored by the government. Even police would stay away from the places like these. Many people that grew up here turned criminal. It was also home to the Spinks brothers, Leon, who served Muhammad Ali his first loss, and Michael, best known for beating Larry Holmes by being destroyed by Mike Tyson a year later. Other than these two, no one else ever really made it big out of here. Well, not legally at least.
Yeah.
Was a big problem in the 60s and 70s. American vets from Nam came home with all types of addictions after the war.
Never.
But was all the rage. See, a lot of them got addicted during the war.
How?
And it was smuggled in all types of ways after. Even in the coffins of dead soldiers. It was the easiest way to make $1 in the 70s. So a lot of black folk who had no way to touch the American dream took to selling dope. Naturally, Pruitt Ego, the largest PJ in the city, became HQ. The head of the operation was a man named Terry Joe Cooley. Terry Joe Cooley and his clique had a grip on the market and were making a killing. Dude was a typical 70s kingpin. Fur coats, gorgeous women,
fur coats,
mansions,
gorgeous women, mansions,
fast cars, the
fast
whole thing.
Cars, everything.
But the business had an side.
Yeah.
Any opposition or competition was regularly met with death.
Oh God, every
For
time.
a long time, their main rivals were the crew from the Vaughn projects, and many bodies dropped on both sides.
Yeah.
Terry was ambitious and had grand schemes and big plans of expanding.
That's why I ain't never want to be no big old kingpin or real trapper. What you mean somebody finna come knock me off so they can be the new plug? Like, boy, you crazy. At least if somebody try to knock you off because somebody who you hang out with knocked off somebody that they hang out with, that make a little bit more sense. You know what I'm saying? But they trying to you don't know who trying to, man, you can't trust nobody. Nobody, not a soul. Because even the people you work for who know your whole operation, they'll trade on you real quick. Blow your head off, and now you just sitting there just sitting there. No, not me. If I did trap, it was gonna be by my lonely.
St. Louis being St. Louis, there were sharks in the water. And someone wanted to take Terry's place.
Yeah.
At just 31 years old, Terry Cooley met his death in a grisly way, shot in the head, and left to rot in a dark basement.
Yeah.
Next to his body, his wife, 10-year-old son, and business partner, all shot in the head multiple times.
God damn.
No one knows who did it or why he was killed to this day. Back at Pruitt Ego, Terry was quickly replaced by TJ Ruffin, who was another major player. TJ was perfect for the post as a lifetime criminal and convict. But being the head honcho meant he had a target on his back.
Right, that's what I'm
the first day
saying.
on the job. Both the feds and the rivals from Vaughn Projects. In January 1972, TJ Ruffin entered Lily's Tavern, North Sierra. But right behind him, his enemies Fred Parker, Sam, Earl Davis brothers followed him in. Before they had a chance to off him, TJ spun around, drew his weapon, and smoked both brothers.
Never!
But he was hidden in the crossfire.
Oh, damn!
He would go on to recover from his wounds.
Oh, fuck out!
But the feds were building a case against him the whole time.
Oh, it's bad, boy! That's crazy. Hit his with the... What? There's a snake in my boot. Oh, fuck out! Hit his dumb. And then he still got hit from the crossfire, but he survived, though. But now you got to worry about the feds. That's what I'm saying. I can't do it. You got to worry about the police, the feds, the police, and the ops, and people you don't even know, and your homies. Like, you can't even trust your girl for real. Your girl might, man, hell no.
Once he got out, they tracked him down to his girlfriend's apartment. As the story goes, the police pulled up, and shots were heard coming from inside the apartment.
Oh,
The cops fired tear gas inside, causing a fire that burned TJ Ruffin and his girl to death. The autopsy of the bodies revealed they both shot themselves before being burned. By this time, Pruitt Ego had been destroyed, but the seat at the top was vacant regardless.
so him and his
Next up was
girlfriend
Nate Sledge.
Him and his girlfriend took themselves out because they knew the feds was coming, I guess.
Another career
That
criminal
don't sound right.
and a notorious robber and shooter. In and out of jails and suspect of many unsolved gangland murders. In January 1980, Sledge and his homies were approached by several men while they were in a parked car. He must have known who the killers were because they asked him to lower his window before they unloaded into the car.
Damn.
He expired instantly. After Nate came Fats Woods. He was a hardened criminal with over 60 arrests in 22 years of his life.
60?
He trafficked to Chicago and India and was being investigated by the IRS for hiding millions. Woods was a loved community hero.
He just
for
called it
helping poor
India,
locals.
Indiana?
Something of a Robin Hood, Pablo Escobar type figure. So the feds had a hard time getting any cooperation from the locals.
Right.
He had a mark on his head, and the feds and DEA were tirelessly building a case against him.
Right.
They finally arrested Woods, and he got 30 years for selling.
30 years.
He was 27.
Boy. 27. It's over with.
Jerry Lewis was a remaining high-ranking member of Pruitt Ego.
I heard about Jerry Lewis.
But most of the OGs and founders were dead or locked up. He was
At
introduced
least
to
they
the
was smart enough back then and not look like no gangsters. Y'all niggas nowadays, y'all tell it on yourself on the gram, shorty. I don't understand it. Y'all get on Instagram, tell on yourself. Nigga look at you and can tell you BD from 3 pictures. Sir, that's not smart. You feel me? That's back in the day where they look like they was going to You feel like they was finna go be a lawyer on bro Ray though. Like they was finna go, you looked at them, you couldn't tell they sold no dope. You feel me? You looking at them like, oh, he lawyer, doctor, businessman, entrepreneur. I doubt you feel me? It's important though, bro. So if you doing that, you supposed to and not let it be known. Nowadays, if you don't tell on yourself, you ain't a real gangster. That's how they act. It's crazy, shorty.
gang by his big brother Jimmy Lewis. Jimmy also held rank in the crew and mentored his brother in the kingpin ways. Sadly, Jimmy was killed by a man named Lil Rob right on the city courthouse steps and right in front of Jerry.
On the city courthouse steps?
A sign of the times and how bold criminals were getting.
Right.
This was retaliation for Jimmy and Earl Williams attempting
That's
to
before,
rob.
I ain't gonna lie, that's before camera. Oh my God. Oh my Lord, before cameras? Nigga, bro, you could have had 35 bodies. Don't nobody know nothing. If you don't tell nobody, nobody see you. They don't even have DNA evidence for real at this time.
Lil Rob served 14 years for this. At the end of the sentence, he was staying at a halfway house where he was shot 3 times in the head and killed. He had only been out for 2 days. Meanwhile, Jerry Lewis had taken over and revived the Pruitt Ego gang, making millions and making many of the head honchos rich. They lived lavishly with women, cars, showing up to popular fights. Jerry Lewis Bey turned into a Muslim of the Moorish Science Temple during one of his prison stints and cleaned up his act when he got out.
That's what's up.
He would go on to build political connections with congressmen and mayors as well.
Okay, then.
Really though, he got in politics as a facade to make it look like he had cleaned up his act.
I'm finna say,
in the 80s, the local police, feds, and DEA were still in the case, and they spent millions investigating him and protecting witnesses, a lot of whom kept dying during investigations. The Lewis Bey trial lasted 7.5 months, the longest in Missouri history to this day. He got a life sentence for racketeering and conspiracy.
Damn.
And that was the end of the Pruitt Ego gang.
That's the real correct.
But after the demolition of the Pruitt Ego of 1972, many of the residents scattered all over the north side and set up new gangs and drug dealing empires all over the city. A pretext for future St. Louis gang wars going on till this day. Dorsey Brandon was born into the crime-infested ghettos of St. Louis in 1973. Dorsey was 6'3" and fearless with an authority complex. Fearless enough that he went by Dorsey on the street instead of taking up a street moniker. Another inner-city youth aptly nicknamed Hitman T was also born around this time. Boys of Destruction were one of the most active gangs.
B.O.D.
rivals
Boys of
were
Destruction.
Both gangs resided in neighborhoods a few streets away from each other. But before all of this, Boys of Destruction and Horseshoe Posse had started out as breakdancing crews.
Horseshoe Posse?
But the breakdancing didn't bring in enough, and they wanted more.
Damn.
Both groups hit their teens right around the time of crack cocaine hitting the streets of St. Louis.
Yeah.
Members of the Crips and Bloods from LA were setting up shop in the city and set up franchises of their hoods back in LA.
Right.
Crack fetched a higher price in St. Louis too. The new gangs had a lot of influence on the impressionable kids excited about picking up a side to rep.
Yeah.
The Colors movie of 1988 also influenced people a lot, and so did the emergence of gangster rap. Funny enough though, almost all the local crews chose Blood. But Dorsey wanted Opps, so he turned Crip. A new turf war began, and there were constant shootings over
And y'all, I'm gonna say this real quick. I think this is what I think they did with gangster rap. I think gangster rap kind of came out of nowhere with like the NWA situation, right? So they didn't like it at first, and they tried to stop it because they like, no, right? Then they realized that this gangster rap is influencing people in America, but it's mainly only influencing who? Other black folks. You feel me? So P this. I feel like they got cool with it after a while, and not even cool with it. They started encouraging it and pushing it because they like, oh, if we let this happen, let this music, let these movies, all this come happen, and they had this what they saying, these dumb gonna themselves thinking that this real or thinking that this what they supposed to be doing or whatever. So now you got a whole bunch of fake gangsters on TV looking gangster, rapping gangster, sounding gangster. So now you think that's real and you think that's how you supposed to live your life. So now you doing that and it all just leads to what? Self-destruction to us. While they sit down and make millions off of it. They like, wait, why would we stop it when they buying it? They buying it. We can make billions, trillions off of this back. They probably gonna themselves, but we don't care. They don't get locked up, but we don't care. They don't care when a rapper goes to jail, when a rapper passes away. That just mean they got a whole bunch of money that they don't got to share with you.
B.O.D. turned from a dancing crew to drug pushers full time.
Drug pushers, yeah.
They recruited heavily in the rest of St. Louis. Dorsey and Hitman T were top drug dealers, and both became notorious shooters with multiple bodies. The drug lords became the gang bosses. They got everyone paid so everyone respected them. They used kids to do the shootings, take chances on doing prison time on behalf of the older members. They had a gang graffiti like LA to mark territory. St. Louis gang eat culture became a thing as well.
Yeah, that's where probably where
So
it
did
came
the gang
from
signs.
from LA gangers.
BOD wore St. Louis Blues hats. The Horseshoe Posse wore Indianapolis Colts hats. They tried to mimic LA gangs in every facet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They had drive-bys almost every night in St. Louis.
Man.
And this was a very violent time for the city. At the peak of all the crack-fueled madness, Hitman T was shotgunned and off in 91. Hitman T was so well loved that his funeral almost turned into a riot, and the cops had to break it up. Word on the street is Dorsey had Hitman T's corpse dug up afterwards.
Never.
This has never been confirmed.
Oh.
The hatred between crews runs so deep.
Y'all smoking niggas with shotguns and digging up their corpse in St. Louis? Oh, I'm never going back in there. Y'all out there tweaking. I thought Chicago was crazy. We ain't got, listen, I think the whole 90s was just crazy. Back in the day, they wasn't no security cameras. You feel me? Because when 9/11 happened, I was what, 3? Finna be 3. I ain't even turned 3 yet when 9/11 happened. So after that, I feel like the whole world changed from what they say. You feel me? I don't know. But all I know is if I was born 10 years later, niggas was getting away with a lot. It's already still Chicago, boy. It be 500 unsolved murders a year. Like, real deal. Unsolved. You feel me? Like, you don't know who did it, shorty. So, and with cameras everywhere, with DNA, with all this everything. Now, so imagine what's going on. Of course, it's drive-bys every day, because who the f gonna stop them for real? The police don't care. There's no police, there's no cameras, there's no reason for me to even be scared. Only thing they got is fingerprints.
And everyone assumed it was Dorsey that did the shooting. He became a major target in the city. He had kept a low profile for some months. Retaliation killings were happening left and right. Many went unsolved. It was one of the bloodiest weekends in St. Louis history. St. Louis descended into war after that. Gang violence skyrocketing and hitting record numbers. The Opps tried to burn Hitman T's mom's house to try and his family.
And y'all
Dorsey
tried
was
to burn
supposed to
his
lay low,
mama
but
house?
couldn't resist the urge to get back on the street.
Damn.
October 91, Dorsey was hit 7 times in the chest. And somehow survived. Despite the second chance at life, Dorsey was shot twice during an altercation outside a club later that year, and it basically opened his wounds up.
Yeah, I'm finna say, he later that year, he ain't even had time to heal for real.
Boys of Destruction and Horseshoe Posse split into different sets, but the city would never be the same after that. The crack era started to die down in the 90s, mainly due to harsh drug laws.
Right.
And incarceration, and rates dropped. But as a consequence, it meant a whole generation of boys would grow up fatherless in the unforgiving North Side.
See what I'm saying?
Another wave of violence was coming.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time.
That's what's going on for real.
Michael Brown.
That was happening in
Missouri of the
Missouri
officer
too,
who
right?
killed him.
Yeah.
Sparked a wave of unrest in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It was a story all too familiar here. Police brutality with no consequence. St. Louis has always had tense relationship between the cops and black people here. From planting drugs on people to targeting blacks during the crack epidemic. Like LA 92, the news of the acquittal and the footage of the altercation that led to Michael Brown's demise had people furious.
Yeah, St. Louis
The
probably
next few
crazy
weeks
as hell
saw
when that happened.
mass
That's the
rioting,